You also have number formats as well, different formats for numbers, like you can have a date format for those numbers. You also can have, well, for this range, it's our sales, so how about if we put that in currency format? To do that, go ahead and select the cell or range of cells that you want to convert into a different number format. Come up here on the Home tab to the number group, and you got your selections here. In fact, you have the dollar sign, but the dollar sign is in accounting. And if you click on it, it'll put a dollar sign next to it, or you can click on the drop down arrow and choose a different type of accounting format. That's not just in dollars, but also the pound, the euro. Let's go ahead and just click on the accounting. Now, what's the difference between the accounting dollar sign and, well, let me click on the drop down arrow to see other number formats, and say the currency? Well, I'll show you, glad you asked. Let me go ahead and hover in between the two column headers, C and D, and click and drag. So whatever I drag, the column to the left gets expanded. And you can see that the dollar sign for accounting is to the far left of the number, as opposed to with the cell selected, when I come up here and click on accounting and go down to currency, that dollar sign is snug right up against the numbers. So there's your difference. And you can come up here and convert it to a percentage. You can also add a comma style to format with 1,000 separators. So when you get up to the thousands, if you don't have a comma in there, you can add it. You can also increase or decrease the decimal. So if I come over here and decrease it, instead of 110.25, it's now 110.3, so it rounds up. So if it's 5 or greater in the second decimal place, it rounds up the first decimal place 1. Or if it's less than that, then it just keeps it as is. So let's go ahead and undo all that. Or better yet, if you want to go ahead and click and drag and select the range, and to clear it, just come up here on the Home tab to the editing group and click on there's the eraser, click on the drop down arrow, and you can say clear formats, and we're back to where we started. Let me come up here and double click in between the two column headers really fast to do a best fit or an auto fit, so it automatically fits to the longest text within that column or numbers. And the other way that you can go about doing this is by coming up here on the Home tab to the number group and clicking on its expandable dialog box button, or to bring up the same Format Cells window, you can close out and just simply right click on your selection and go down right there to Format Cells as well. And so you get the different number options as you do when you click on the drop down arrow here in the number group, and you can go ahead and select currency, and you can tweak it a bit more than just by selecting it up here from the number group. You can choose the decimal places, you can choose the symbol, click on the drop down arrow, and you've got a lot. In fact, you can go ahead and find the French Canada dollar, or even go down to, wow, Spanish, GS Spanish Paraguay. Alright, we'll click off to keep it simple here. And then as far as negative numbers go, you have a list down here you can choose from. So if there's a negative number in the cell, do you want it to just display the minus sign before it? Or do you want it in red? Or do you want it in parentheses? Or do you want it in parentheses and in red? In any case, go ahead and click Okie dokie. So if I come up here and type in -1, hey, there we go, in parentheses and in red. And it only shows up, again, if it's a negative number. How about a date? I don't mean you, silly. I mean the date up here. If you want to go ahead and take a look at the number format here, come up to the Numbers group on the Home tab, click on the drop-down arrow, and you can choose, well, the short date's already there. You can do long date. Ooh, that sounds pretty kooky. Go ahead and select that, and anytime you see a bunch of pound symbols in a cell, it can mean one of two things. Either you typed in the pounds, or it means that Excel can't show you everything that can be seen within that cell. And the reason why it hides it and puts up a bunch of pound symbols, because you can imagine that if, let me do it to this column here, hover in between the two column headers and click and drag. So if I make it really tiny, and we've got a couple of numbers here, and as you can see when I hover over the cell, C8, it gives me the pop-up that the total numbers in there is $200.75, or if it's in thousands, $200,000. In any case, if it can't show everything, it would be deceptive to show you just 200, because then you're missing extra numbers, and that can be very fatal to accounting purposes. So let me come up here, double click really fast in between the two column headers, and then also come up here and do another best fit, and double click in between the two column headers really fast, and it does a best fit to wherever I double click. As far as the columns go, the column to the left. And hey, there it is, Sunday, May 15th, 2016. Now if you want more number formats, you can right click on it and go down to Format Cells. Let me click and drag this over here. And for the date, you got a lot of different options that you can go ahead and scroll through and figure out which one you want, including the time. And you can choose a location. Ooh, that gets kind of crazy. So let me go ahead and just go back to the way it was basically. And that's the sample that you can see right there. Click Okie dokie. Cool. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, as soon as I upload a new video, you'll be notified instantly, and you can do that by coming over here and clicking on my face. You can also click here to support me, so for $2 a month, you can have access to over 2,700 training videos, all ad-free, and for a few bucks more, you can have access to my exercises, instructor notes, quizzes, certificate of completion, and a whole lot more.